see the pain in you, and I can see the love in you, and fighting all the demons will take time. It will take time. The angels, they burn inside for us. And are we ever gonna learn to fly? The devils, they burn inside of us. And are we ever gonna come back down, come around? I'm always gonna worry about the things that could make us cool.
I'm out at Giant Rock. Decided to come out here. I took Charlie to the crematorium earlier. He had to be there by 5. And then I just decided to get away. Away. I like coming out here. I'd actually planned on bringing Charlie out here and him and I camping one night in Bertha, but I wasn't sure I could get Bertha back here. But I'd still planned on bringing Charlie out here, but I never did. So I decided to come out here after I dropped him off. As you can see, it's a full moon tonight. The moon's right there. This doesn't do the moon justice. It's pretty amazing. And this is a beautiful spiritual place to me. It's a beautiful spiritual place to Native Americans. And I love it out here. I'm out here where there's no cell service, no cell phones. A little worried because when I started venturing out here, I'm running my spare tire. Because one of my tires went bad, so there's no cell service, so if we got a flat, it would be a minor catastrophe. Because there's the spare. And I don't exactly have off-road tires on my Land Rover, but I've been out here before and I did okay. So anyway, I think we're just gonna chill for a while.
And this is the last time, and that I'm never gonna give in tonight. And all their angels, oh devils crawling here, I just wanna know what blurs and what is clear to see. Well, I can see the pain in you, and I can see the love in you, and fighting all the demons will take time. It will take time. The angels, they burn inside for us. And are we ever gonna learn to fly? The devils, they burn inside of us. And are we ever gonna come back down, come around?
There's not much daylight left. I don't know if you can see me. I think you still should be able to see me, but you can hear me anyway. Been having some major health issues. May have a gallbladder going bad, I guess. Been having some major abdominal pain. So much pain that like I have to lay down on the ground. It hadn't been acting up in the last few days, but I don't know what that's about. I've always been very healthy, very active. So that's a new one on me. And then this deal with Charlie really kind of took the wind out of my sails. My whole goal in life was just to get my YouTube channel to making maybe $100 a day, so me and Charlie could travel around in the motorhome make some YouTube videos. I couldn't wait to get the motorhome fixed so I could get Charlie in the motorhome, because he loved the motorhome. He loved to go in the motorhome. And I'm sure you're gonna miss that little guy. I don't know. I've had him for 10 years. I don't know, like I'm lost without him. It's just a dog. I keep telling myself he was just a dog, but to me, he was my family for the last 10 years in California. He's all the family I had. So today was a new horizon without him. I kept him with me all day, as long as I could. The crematorium closed at 5, so I got there at 5:40 and said goodbye. I held him in my arms for the last hour, talked to him, said my goodbyes, had a little funeral for him out in front of the house. I'd planned initially on burying him at the house, but I may not stay here if I get the motorhome fixed, and I couldn't bear the thought of burying him at the house and leaving him in the desert when I leave. But he loved it out here. I was so excited to move out here to Joshua Tree for him, more than myself. I grew up in the country, and I like the city, I like the country, but him having all these wide open spaces to roam out here after living in Long Beach for 8 years, and there was no place for him to roam, no grass. So he got a couple of years just to enjoy the wide open spaces and go outside and roam around. I don't know if you can see that view. Down here at the top of this little hill. Probably not very good audio, I apologize. I'm sure it's very windy. Sun's going down. Giant rock right outside of Landers, California. I've actually climbed up almost to the top of that, to about right there, but on the other side where Giant Rock is, and got some great sunrise photos of Giant Rock one time. Some of you may have seen them. Everything I've done in the past 10 years, in the back of my mind, it was for me and Charlie. Whatever I was doing, I'd think, well, me and Charlie. I'm gonna do this for me and Charlie. And now it's just me. So now I'm a little lost. I don't know exactly what I'm gonna do. Some thoughts, I just wanna pack and sell everything and get out of California. Maybe Alaska, Oregon, Alaska, another new start. Charlie was my companion in California because I don't have any family out here. Out here where I'm at right now, it's where I come to get lost, where I come to get away from the city. I come out here because I don't know anybody. I've lived in Joshua Tree for 2 years. I don't know one person. I know one bartender in Yucca Valley, Tay, and that's it, and I haven't seen her in a year. So this is my little, when I want to drive away and get lost, this is where I come. No cell service, just me. Trying to get down from here without falling down. It's always easier going up than it is down if you don't actually have hiking boots on. I was gonna wear my hiking boots, but then for some reason I didn't. So I pulled over here by Giant Rock, just sitting here in the truck by Giant Rock. I don't know what it is, man. There's something magical about this place. Something spiritual, something healing. I don't know what it is. That's why I was drawn here, I think. Not really sure. I wasn't planning on coming here today. I was in Yucca Valley. I deposited my last paycheck from American Horror Story, which basically paid to have Charlie cremated. And that was the money I was going to use to buy a new tire. The check I'd been waiting on with in mind to get a new tire to quit running the spare. Because I like having a spare, you know. But money comes and goes. Trucks comes and goes. But man, there will never be another little Charlie. He was something else. That dog was like no other dog. I know everybody says that about their dogs, but Charlie was different. I've had a lot of dogs. I've lost a lot of dogs. I had a beautiful Rottweiler named Bosco back in the 90s. And I never, as much as I love that dog, I never got fully attached to him. So when I lost him, I mean, it hurt, but it wasn't devastating like losing Charlie. For some reason, I just fell in love with Charlie and just felt like he was going to be with me forever. And then when I remember his face was all black when I got him. For years, he looked like a little monkey. And then I guess probably about 3 or 4 years ago, I started watching, he started having a little bit of white in his whiskers. Some of his black whiskers started turning white. And then one day I woke up and his whole face was white. It wasn't black anymore. And that really worried me. And I realized that he was getting to be, he wasn't a young puppy anymore. He was in dog years. He was getting on up there. And for some reason, I could never put my mind around exactly what his birth date and how old he was. And then so I got a hold of Patty, my ex-wife, and she said his birthday was October 5th. So we figured out that was October 5th, 2006. So I was thinking he was already 11 years old. I've been telling people he was 11 for a long time. But in all reality, he was getting ready to turn 10 on October 5th. About a month, he would have been 10 years old. So when I first moved to California, I didn't have a dog. When I was married, Charlie's mother, Sally, who was actually my ex-wife, my wife's dog at the time, she was more my dog than it was hers. But when we decided to part ways, I told her she could have the house, she could have the cars, she could have everything. All I wanted was Sally. But, you know, she balked on that, and I didn't have a foot to stand on or a leg to stand on because Sally was her dog, even though Sally loved me more at the time. Sally traveled all over the United States with me. She's been to Michigan, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Montana, Wyoming. God, she's been everywhere with me. She traveled with me everywhere when I was traveling the country working back in the 90s, early 2000s. She was my little road dog. And so I had to come to California by myself. But Patty promised me, my ex-wife, promised me that, because I never would let Sally have puppies. I have to back up a little bit, because I was scared she was so small that something would happen to her. And she was a chug, just like Charlie. She was part Chihuahua and part pug. But she was a rounder version. Charlie had more of a little skinny Chihuahua body. But Patty promised me that if Sally ever got pregnant and ever had any puppies, that I would get the pick of the litter. And she kept her word, because that was Charlie. And about a little over a year, maybe a year and a half after I moved out here, my youngest son, Dustin, brought Charlie to me. I picked him out in a picture that Patty sent me. And he looked like a chug. He looked like half Chihuahua and half pug. He looked like a little monkey. First time I seen his mother, Sally, she was tiny. She fit in the palm of my hand. And Patty brought her in, and I didn't even know what she was. I didn't even know she was a dog. I was like, what is this? And Patty's like, it's a puppy. I was like, it looks like part a bat monkey. It doesn't look like a dog. She was the cutest little thing, and I fell so in love with her, and it was hard for me to leave her, but I knew it was the right thing to do because she was Patty's dog. So when Sally had puppies, I picked Charlie out from a picture, and I couldn't get him out here right away, but my son had made plans to come out, so my youngest son, Dustin. So when Dustin flew out, we put Charlie on the plane with him, and Charlie came with him. And I just left Huntington Beach and moved to Long Beach. I was having a really rough time because I was doing pretty well in Huntington Beach, and then everything fell apart. So I was living in a little studio apartment in Long Beach. Barely had enough money to feed myself, so my biggest worry getting this dog was, if I can't feed myself, how am I going to feed this dog? But as soon as I got him, everything seemed to work out. I never, there was a couple times I might have went with just some ramen noodles and tuna for a week, but Charlie always had food. There's a brand new bag of food that I brought Charlie right here from Trader Joe's Sunday, because as soon as I was going to get off work tomorrow night, Friday night, I don't know what time I would have got off. We've been working long days, but I was jumping in the truck and I was going to head to Victorville, and I was going to pick Charlie up, and I was going to bring him to Joshua Tree and spend the weekend with him. So I got him a brand new bag of dog food. And then I was at work yesterday, and I was having a pretty rough day, trying to hang in there. I've had a really rough time on this job. This job doesn't like me at all, and I've just struggled with it. But I just keep going back, thinking, it's rough waters. It's like a boat. You got to find calmer waters if you just stay with it. And so I was really in my head yesterday about this job and what was going on, and trying to learn some different things that I don't know anything about. This job is way over my head. But I'm trying to learn, and I was literally standing right there by the first AD, first assistant director, Rusty, my boss, the second, Matt. And my phone rang, and I was on set. And I was like, what? And I looked at my phone, and it was a call from Apple Valley, which is where Charlie was staying. He was staying in Victorville, so it's really close. So as soon as I saw the phone, my heart sank. And I thought maybe, hey, maybe they're just making sure I'm coming to get him, but why would they be calling? And it was a number that I didn't know that wasn't stored in my phone. And Diane, the girl that was actually watching Charlie, her and her daughter, I have her number stored, so I just had a horrible feeling. Same feeling I got when I lost Patrick in 2010. For those of you that don't know, my oldest son passed away in 2010, and I was sitting down to watch my Texas Longhorns play Alabama in the national championship game, and I'd just finished popping popcorn, and I sat down to watch the game. I'd been so excited to watch the game. I didn't think Texas had much chance of winning, but I wanted to watch the game anyway. My phone rang, and my oldest son had passed away. And so I didn't watch the game. Don't even remember anything about that game or that day, other than that phone call. And I knew I was going to lose Charlie. He was getting older, but I never expected to lose him the way I lost him. I expected him to die in his sleep, in his bed, by me or something, and I don't know if that would have been easier. It feels like it would have been easier than not knowing what happened to him, leaving him somewhere that he wasn't used to. Diana said he was depressed, and that's what happens. Every time I left him somewhere, he wouldn't eat for like a week. He barely would eat or drink, and he seemed happy. There was other dogs. They sent me a video of him going walking with like 4 other little dogs, and man, he just looked like he was having the time of his life. She said, I talked to her today, she said she looked out the window yesterday and he was outside just laying in the sun wagging his tail, and he looked happy. So maybe it was a really happy time for him to go. I worried about him a lot just being with me, because he was just with me, but I was always scared for him to be around other dogs. He didn't have a lot of experience being around other dogs, and sometimes that made me feel really guilty, but I kept him away from other dogs because I was scared another dog, a bigger dog, would get a hold of him and kill him. And I kind of feel like that's probably what happened, but I don't really know, and that's the hardest thing, is not knowing. And with the same thing with my son, there's still questions on what happened, and if you've ever been through that, that's the hardest part, because there's no real closure. Anyway, this isn't my usual YouTube vlog. You can look back at my Which One You Would Choose vlog. I don't remember what number it is, but that's the title of it. It's got Charlie in the beginning of it. And I thank God that I actually recorded that video with him all in the front of the video, because I've watched it about 15 times today, and I can't wait to get home and watch it again, because that was really Charlie. That was my little Charlie. And Death is so ugly because he didn't look anything like himself. I couldn't even hardly recognize him. He was such a cute dog, but he wasn't in Death. So I took him to the cremators today at 4:40, and hopefully I'll get to pick him up in a week. And my friend Chopper Doll said you're supposed to spread their ashes so they can cross over, but I don't know. I just kind of want to keep them with me right now. But maybe one day, but I don't know where, Charlie's home was with me. We were travelers, we never really had a home, even though we had places we parked for a couple of years. Nothing ever seemed to be stable for us. We always felt like we were going to move on. We're just here for a moment, just like we are in the desert right now. And it was getting time to move on. And I've been trying to put things together to do that, but Charlie just didn't make the journey with me. He's not going to make the journey with me. Or he will, but just not in the sense I want him to be. Anyway, guys, I'm just kind of venting. I don't have anybody to talk to, so. And it's not that I don't have people to talk to. It's just I grieve by myself. I can't be around a lot of people. I don't like people feeling sorry for me. And I guess I'm an emotional guy, but I try to push those emotions down. So it makes it harder when it's around other people. So I just prefer to be by myself. So all my friends that have commented on my Facebook, people that have texted me, people that have called me, left me voicemail messages, don't think I didn't listen to them and don't think I didn't appreciate it, because I did. There's been too many text messages to even start answering them. So I've just kind of left them. I've talked to a couple of people, but pretty much I've just left the text messages unanswered and the phone calls. Maybe I'll get up to answering them here in a day or two. Right now I've got to decide how I can get myself back together and get back to work, because I need to fulfill this job until November, so I have a little nest egg built up so I can get Bertha fixed, figure out exactly what I want to do now, and put my next plan of action in place. The sailboat thing is still not out the window, and one of my major concerns about buying a sailboat was I was worried about Charlie being on a sailboat. I went sailing one day with Mike, and it was rough. And it was rough in the boat. Some of the stuff got thrown off, like coffee maker and stuff got thrown off the counter. And I'm thinking if Charlie was down there, he would have been freaking out. And I was just imagining Charlie being terrified in the boat, because it was pretty rough. We were up in where you drive in the cockpit. And there was things being thrown around on the inside of the boat. So I'm thinking if I'm going to travel the world with Charlie, something to definitely think about. And so I just put that out of my head for a little while on the sailboat thing, because I didn't know exactly how I was going to do that with him. And then my biggest fear was, him out on the deck and fall off and lose him in the ocean. So like I said, every single thing I've done in my life in the last 10 years almost, as always, Charlie was top priority. And my biggest regret is I was forced into taking this job that I have. I wanted it because I wanted to get some steady work, which I hadn't had in about 8 months, and things had gotten pretty scarce, I'm not going to lie. And I hadn't worked regularly since I had the other show, American Crime Story, the O.J. Simpson story that wrapped like last October. So, I had been day playing, but I didn't get any day playing jobs, but I got American Horror Story and a few day playing jobs, but it'd been a long stretch with nothing really. So when this job opportunity came up, I really jumped at it and was really hoping to get it, and then I got it. And I just can't help sit here and knowing that if I hadn't have took that job, if I had have just said, you know, I'm not going to go in that interview, I'm not going to go, you know, because I was on American Horror Story 3 or 4 days a week, and Charlie would still be here. But I took that job, and that put me in a perilous situation with Charlie. And he had been staying by himself for all day long, and I had to leave him one time for like 3 days, and it just ripped me apart. Maybe the reason I'm having such major abdominal pains, and I'm sick now because I was so worried about him. Being single and having a pet is hard sometimes. There's nobody else there but you, you know, and if you can't be there because you got to work, then that poor pet's just all by himself, and that just tore me up. Over the years, I've turned down so much work, so many job opportunities to travel and do different things because, you know, I just would flake on stuff. People would want me to do this, or they would want me to go, hey, come to Florida and do this. And I'd be like, what am I going to do with Charlie? And then they would be sending me emails, and I just kind of like, I'm having to do something else. I can't do it. And in reality, there was nothing else. It's just I couldn't find anybody, or I didn't really have anybody to watch Charlie, so I wasn't going to leave him by himself. When I tell people, when people don't realize, Charlie and I have been together for every single day, every day. I haven't worked a regular steady job. I was a bouncer and a door guy and a bar back and a bartender for a few years. But, you know, I'd go in at 9 and get off at 3 or 4. So it was just like a few hours, and then I was back, plenty of money in my pocket for us to do whatever we wanted to do. Then my photography was on the other side of that. And then my photography business got good enough that I didn't have to bartend and stuff anymore. So during that, I would do 2 or 3 shoots a month. And the other times, Charlie and I was just having fun, just me and Charlie. So he was like my kid. I liked having him with me every day, everywhere I went. And on these shows, they can't go with you, you know. I was talking to my friend Chopper all today, and she takes her dogs to work with her every single day. And I didn't have that job. I had it when I had my studio in Long Beach. And if I hadn't moved to Joshua Tree and I was still in Long Beach, Charlie would probably still be alive. Man, all those what ifs, they're the ones that really get you in the end. So anyway, I'm going to sign off here. I'm just rambling now, just talking to nothing, for nothing, but just kind of wanted to put it out there. I don't even know if I'll load this, but just wanted to record it. My feelings, what's going on. Anyway, I'm signing off. Good night, guys.
I'm always gonna worry about things that could break us. If I want to give it, I'd give it up, and then I'd take a breath, make it deep, because it might be the last one you get, be the last one. It could make us cruel. Us cruel. La, 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 la. I'm always gonna worry about the things that could make us cool.